The reigning queen of vegan dairy alternatives comes out with a 3-ingredient vegan butter recipe? Of course I have to try it. Will it come out as good as hers, even when I use cheaper ingredients? And will it really perform like butter? Let's find out. Of course, the first thing I did was mess with her original recipe. Hey, she said we could, and I'm about to test how flexible this recipe really is. The first thing she was really clear about in her tutorial was to use refined coconut oil, which does not have a coconut aroma. Here's the thing, I only had unrefined in my cupboard, so I accept that my butter is going to come out coconutty. It has to be melted. I hope it's not too warm now. And then she uses chilled avocado oil, which is expensive for me, so I chose the most affordable neutral oil, canola, and it's been chilling in my fridge for a week, so it's really nice and cold. Her instructions were to blend the two oils together until cloudy. Check. Now for the fun part. In her video, she cultures her own cashew milk to make it sour and thick. I'm not going to have that much fun. I'm going to use regular soy milk from the carton. And now, like the reverse of making mayonnaise, the milk goes into the oils slowly while blending. When I make vegan mayo at home, I'm using oil going into a bit of milk or aquafaba. In her recipes, she says we can add a half to a whole cup of plant-based milk. Seeing as dairy butter is normally only 16 to 18% water and this recipe on the low end of the milk amount is already 25%, I'm going for the lower amount. Even though we had the temperature specified, it doesn't thicken right away. But don't worry, my friends, the queen has already given us guidance in this situation. Into the fridge for you. An hour later, I'm trying again with the immersion blender. I don't think it was cold enough yet. However, it looks emulsified, so I just put this in the fridge overnight. In between then and now, you can see I blended half of it just to see if there would be a difference. I feel like the right side looks prettier, but any difference in texture? Both sides are solid with no weeping, a sign that the oil and water has been bound together. That's the meaning of emulsified. But does it perform like butter? First test. Spread it on bread. This is leftovers from me trying a TikTok baguette recipe that really didn't turn out very baguette-like, but it's still decent bread. The butter is spreading decently too. If you've ever put coconut oil in the fridge, this has actually a similar feeling. Even though there's a lot of soy milk in there, it's not that soft. Perhaps it's because I used less milk than in her demo. Perhaps it's because I didn't make the thick cultured cashew cream. Visually, it just doesn't look as creamy. Miyoko's is way more like a spreadable margarine. In fact, I'm getting flashbacks to the imperial margarine that was always in my family's fridge when I was a kid. Did you guys ever have that? But how does it melt? Let's try toasted bread. It's melting a lot faster than dairy butter. The taste is, of course, a bit coconutty since I used unrefined coconut oil, but not super strong, having been diluted by the soy milk, and it's just the right bit of salt. I really like it. So, should you try this vegan butter? I think if you have the equipment, absolutely, if you want a butter that spreads. She says you can use it for cooking too. Because of the sugar content in the milks, it will brown. And you can see that it works with cheaper ingredients. However, this is a lot, and I feel like you could try it with smaller amounts, especially if you have the immersion blender. Personally, I don't eat a lot of butter on toast or cook with it so much, so this amount is really going to last me forever. However, it's not a total dupe for dairy butter because of how fast it melts at the touch. I can tell now that it will not work for making croissants, at least the traditional kind. And she says this in her tutorial as well. I really see what she meant now. So maybe that's my next adventure. Let me know what you think. Will you try Miyoko's new 3-ingredient vegan butter recipe? Are you going all in and making a cultured version? I've linked her original tutorial where she shows you how to make your own cultured milk for this, so don't forget to check it out. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for more plant-based culinary exploration and reviews. Bye for now.